So today we'll learn about the resources and development of chapter 1 of class 10th. So first question that we'll deal with, what is resource? The pen that I'm writing with can also be termed as a resource. But the pencil that I'm using is also a resource. The light or the fan or cooler, AC, that whatever we are using is termed as resource. But here in this chapter we'll talk about natural resource. So natural resources are those resources which can be used by us and which is found in our nature, not made by humans, and can be used to satisfy our needs. There are three conditions to be a resource. First, it needs to be technologically accessible. Technologically accessible means we have the technology to make that product or to manufacture that particular product. Then we have economically feasible, means for example, if iPhone costs more than lakhs, we are not able to use that iPhone. So here it will not termed as a resource for everyone. But petrol, diesel, coal, it can be consumed by everyone, means it is cheaper, and it can be because vehicles needs petrol and it is maximum consumed by everyone. So three conditions. So one is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. For example, we have read in history in lower standard about cow. Cow slaughtering is not acceptable by Hindus, or pig slaughter is not acceptable by Muslims. So there are some resources that are not accepted by some caste or some religions. So due to cultural problems, we are not using that resources. So it cannot be termed as a resource. So there needs to be three conditions. First, technologies should be there. Second, there should be culturally acceptable. And third, it should be economically feasible. So these needs to be the other three conditions that you need to mention when you're writing what do you mean by resource, and here we are talking about only natural resource. Okay, now what is the relation between the human beings and the resources? Okay, I'll give you example. For example, I have coal, okay, or I have some clay and I needs to convert it into pot. What I'll use is secondary sector, that is manufacturing sector. Machines I'll use, technology I'll use, and the building in which I'm doing all my activities, or I'm performing all these activities to convert it from a simple lump of clay to a highly productive pot. I need an institution, I need a place. So I'm human being, I'm interacting with the physical environment that I'm taking clay, and I have technology, that machine, and I have that place in which I am doing this to convert it into a resource, that is a pot. So this is the thing that is very important. If you can add this to your answer, if it is in asked what is a resource and how it is correlated with the human beings, so you can write this. It is very important. Okay, next we'll read is in how many categories we'll divide the resources. So I'm here only discussing the graph and the categories, and the next video will discuss about the types of on the basis on which we have classified the resources. Okay, so there are 5 bases, but here we have to only read about 4. On the basis of origin, it is biotic or abiotic. On the basis of exhaustibility, origin means कहाँ से वो आया है, from where it has come, that is biotic, that is natural. It has means mainly the resources can be either natural or can be man-made or synthetic. So it is biotic or abiotic. On the basis of exhaustibility, it can over or not. So it can renewable or it cannot renew. On the basis of ownership, who owns it? It is individual, like our house or like our garden. It is community, like graveyard, like national importance, like rivers or rivers, ponds, lakes, or international, like oceans. On the basis of status of development, means we have the potential, developed, stock, and reserve. What type of status that particular resource is holding? It is potential resource, it is developed, stock, or reserve. Now we will discuss about the map, means the graph that is given here. So resources, natural or human, there are mainly 2 types of resources. Either it is man-made or either it is natural. Further, it is divided into renewable or non-renewable. And here human, that is man-made resources, we don't have to consider about it because it is not going to come in your board's exam because it is out of our topic. Structures and institutions, or quantity and quality. These are the only classifications of the human resource. But further we have to read about the natural resources. Renewable and non-renewable, it can renew, it cannot be renewed. Then renewable resources is divided into two parts, that is continuous or flow, that is still going, that is still using, that is wind and water, and biological, that is wildlife and natural vegetation of forest that can be disappeared. Then non-renewable is classified into two types, that is recyclable or non-recyclable. Recyclable metals are like iron we can recycle, aluminium we can recycle. So here all the metals will be termed as recyclable. Then we have non-recyclable, that is fossil fuels. If coal, petroleum or diesel will be over, or we don't have any storage of that resources, we are not able to use that. So this is the summary that we have to go through all these pages of chapter 1. Next we'll discuss in the next topic.